So, morning, everyone. To those who are joining us live, I'm always so grateful for your presence. It's lovely to see you, especially since my mindful moments are sometimes sporadic. And to those who are joining in person, which I'm away with Pips, our daughter, and my parents, and we dropping Pips at Quest. So Pips is also joining online, and my parents are sitting here in the lounge with me, which is lovely. So yeah, today Pip starts a huge adventure. She's starting at something called Quest, which I'll just read you a little bit. Well, it's a 3 month journey of kind of self-discovery, designed for youngsters, mostly sort of gap student youngsters. The boys have a 10 or 7 month course, and then there's a sort of 3 month spring program. A lot of girls join at this time, but there are boys that come from all over the world. So I think there are 24 of them starting today. Um, and on the website, it says Quest offers the character building adventure that every young person needs, creating a solid foundation and a life-changing outlook. Many young people find themselves in a world which has infinite opportunities and yet can be confusing and overwhelming as they consider the prospect of their future. Quest is a call to adventure for those who are willing to challenge themselves and their outlook, to go on a journey that answers the questions of who they are and where they're going. Quest uses timeless principles to build true character, which provides a solid foundation for life. Our programs develop the habits and life skills that enable exceptional lives. And then it says in big bold letters, warning, Quest is tough, it's physically demanding and highly disciplined. So yeah, Pips is in for quite a exciting few months. And they apparently they do a journey through Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it's something that I was reminded of, as my dad had years ago, many years ago, had read it and felt it was so helpful and so poignant that he actually summarized the version. And I think I'm going to pull that out again and go through some of those. We actually took out um, read some of the principles last night and went through them. So I'll share that on our group. But it's for those who saw the photo that I sent, it really is a beautiful farm. It's in the Eastern Cape near Alexandria, and there's lots of cattle. I think there's a dairy element, and then there's also lots of game. We saw beautiful journey of giraffe. We saw some blesbuck in the distance. We saw zebra, we saw waterbuck and beautiful earlant, and it's just such a peaceful place. And it's got that also that real Eastern Cape sort of a forest and natural beauty as well. So it's an incredibly beautiful place and very remote. And so as I was just mentioning before we started recording, there is a cottage to stay on here. It sleeps six, and we're lucky enough to be staying here at this cottage. It's called Ed's Place, and you can book it on booking.com. But it's sort of a lot of the parents dropping off or fetching from Quest stay here. And we were chatting to Jim and Sheila Musto, who run Quest. We were chatting to them yesterday, and we were just really talking about nature and the healing power of nature physically and emotionally. And I really strongly feel that this is a theme that's going to come up more and more as we move through to an era of AI where we're not sure what's real and what's not. People will be turning much more to nature to feel grounded for their healing and for their emotional healing as well, because this is where we feel, yeah, feel grounded, feel connected, and connect back to our true selves. So it's a very special time, and the poem we're going to do today reflects that. And just astrologically, we're moving towards the full moon, which is going to be on the 7th of September, just a few days away. And there's also a total lunar eclipse in Pisces on that day. And Pisces is all about water and flow. And we're in eclipse season, which is a powerful time at the end of the year. And I'm not going to go too much into it. But Pam Gregory was explaining that eclipses are a little bit like wildcards, or like a reboot to your computer. You know, when our devices are glitchy, we eventually just switch them off, let them stand a little moment, and then switch them on again. It's a little bit like the Earth having a reboot when we have these eclipses, and that they can bring permanent change. And this is really a big time of endings and beginnings. And she talks about the next few months are months of sort of thinking and distilling, like what is the dream for yourself that you've been dreaming and incubating and hatching, that you're going to want to like birth for next year. And so next year is the sort of year, especially she says in the summer, the UK summer, but it's a powerful time of sort of new beginnings and new starts. And so and this newness that we've been building towards. So it's a time for us now is really to lay down those dreams, those percolations, that envisaging time of what we wanted to create coming into next year. So I'm going to read this poem first, and then I just want to mention something about it after the poem, and then we'll drop into our meditation. And for those who've been here around, you'll recognize this poem. It's one of our familiar favorites by Mary Oliver. So I invite you just to take a deep breath in and just to breathe out, feeling yourself settle into your cushion or chair, wherever you find yourself this morning. If you're walking or standing, just noticing your feet on the earth, rooting into the earth. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say they save me, and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which goodness, discernment, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches, and they call again, "It's simple," they say, "and you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine." And you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine. And something that Pips and I learned recently when we were in Zululand, and walking with my mum-in-law there, is that there are the beautiful fever trees, and the Zulu name is called Makanya Kude, which means the tree that shines from afar. And it is amazing because with that sort of yellow bark, it's almost gold. And Pips was actually telling us that she learned this on eco training, the sort of luminescent dust that it emits. Yeah, it means the tree that shines from afar. And so I just felt that that was so relevant for what Mary Oliver had said in her poem, that you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine. And yeah, Pips recently had her chart reading with Michelle McLuhan. And it's fascinating to reflect on perhaps our astrological birth time and see what the tendencies it gives us in this life. It's not a prophecy for our life, it's more helping us to understand who we are and a little bit about our background. And something that came up for Pip specifically, but I think this is also very relevant for all of us, is to feel the fear, to acknowledge the fear, don't judge the fear, but do it anyway. And the sort of line was, don't let the fear stop you from shining your light. And the best way of doing this is for us to connect with our heart and heart coherence. So when we start to feel the fear, um, and Pips and I were talking about this yesterday, like when riding horses or doing something that we fear, horses actually feed off our energy. And that's why we use horses so much for therapy. Um, and if a rider is calm and confident and in control, the horse feeds off that too. So it works both ways. So the best way is with heart coherence, where we slow our breathing, we acknowledge our fears, we connect with our heart space and gratitude, and generate sort of feelings of warmth and love in our heart space. So we're going to practice that today in our meditation. So I invite you to, if you haven't closed your eyes already, just to close your eyes or to drop your gaze. And just to take a few breaths, just to settle into where you find yourself now. Just noticing feet on the earth, perhaps your hands in your lap or resting on your knees. And just moving into a position that's comfortable, sitting up, right, with head and shoulders towards the heavens above. And dropping gently into arms and shoulders, just sitting with an upright dignity, but also inviting a softness at the same time. Just being where you are at this moment, perhaps just listening for sounds around. And then dropping into your body and following your breath. Just following each breath with curious attention. Noticing where each breath travels. Nose, back of throat, into the chest or the belly. And really just gently encouraging an expansion of your belly with each in-breath. And then a softening and letting go with each out-breath. And then dropping into our heart space, where our heart rests, middle of our lungs, in our chest. And perhaps bringing to mind a situation that scares us, that we feel are rather fearful for, perhaps something we're planning or wanting to do. And noticing sensations in the body as we hold this aspect that we are fearful of in our heart space. And then perhaps resting your hands on your heart if that feels comfortable for you. And just noticing that fear. There is the fear. It's trying to protect me, trying to keep me safe. Might be a familiar feeling that we live in more often than we'd like to. Just noticing it, naming it, just being with it, acknowledging it. Then, as we continue to sit here, just to breathe into it and inviting feelings of gratitude and warmth into our heart space. Gratitude for this moment of breath, gratitude for life, gratitude for our bodies, gratitude for a cup of tea or a simple pleasure. And just tapping into feelings of gratitude in our heart space. And noticing if there are feelings of warmth or coherence as gratitude builds. Perhaps it has a sensation or color or brightness, a luminescence that glows. Not having to do anything, but just sitting here basked in a warm glow of light. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness, I would almost say they save me, and daily. I'm so distant from the hope of myself in which I have goodness, discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches, and they call again. It's simple, they say. And you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy and to be filled. To go easy, to be filled with light and to shine. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches and they call again. It's simple, they say, and you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light and to shine. And so in this moment, just holding an image or feeling, sensation of what we would like to create without the fear. How we'd like to feel in our bodies. Touching into that essence that lies inside us. And when you're ready, slowly letting go of those visualizations, allowing them to drift up as a balloon may gently drift up to the sky above. And then just taking a few deep breaths, exhaling perhaps audibly, moving into fingers and toes. Just slowly coming back to the space that you're in. When you're ready, opening your eyes and taking in colors and light of the world around you. And I wish you a very blessed day. I've just looked to the right here and see those magnificent dunes. It was quite dark earlier and quite cloudy, and now they're sort of lit up with this golden light. So it's really a beautiful sight. I'll try and send another picture. And it was lovely to have many of you on this, and especially Pips, who's showing up as Zoom user. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful experience. And we all can have our own quest and journey over the next 3 months of really visualizing and creating how we want to be in 2026. And just on that note as well, we're going to be running our spring shed again. So we'll be letting you know the details of that. It's going to be slightly later, sort of October time. We'll give you plenty of time to get ready, but it is coming. And so prepare your hearts and invite your friends. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Pip.
It was beautiful. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Nikki. That was gorgeous. And yeah, it's a beautiful day here. But just before I came on, for some reason, I was looking through some of my quotes, and it tied in what you said about, feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And the quote was that courage knows it will hurt and doing it anyway. And stupidity is knowing it will hurt and doing it anyway. That's why life is hard.
True.
So you've got to know the difference between courage and stupidity sometimes.
Well, thank you, Ellen. Hopefully our inner knowing will guide us.
Yes, hoping. And beautiful session. Thank you, Nikki. And all the best to Pips.
Thank you.
And it's so weird.
Thank you, Auntie Ellen.
When you left yesterday, let me put my thing on again. Gosh, wrong one. Here we go. So Pips, we go for months and months and months usually without seeing each other. But then suddenly yesterday when she left and we'd been spending a bit of time together the last few days, it was like there was such a loss in my heart. It was just the strangest, like she's going away for 3 months and I won't see her. So I probably wouldn't have seen her anyway, but for some reason just yesterday it was my heart contracted with the thought. Yeah, more real.
Sweet.
Yeah. So,
thank you for
anyway,
it was a very mutual feeling, Auntie Ellen.
Sweetie, thanks. We'll see you in December though, huh?
Of course. Yeah. Can't wait for December.
No, don't push your life away. Enjoy every minute of where you are. Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks, Ellen. Thank you, Sue. Bye-bye. And thank you, Gail. It was so lovely to see you last week as well, briefly.
Yesterday morning went absolutely pear-shaped, but I was so blessed to see you on that Friday evening. So it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And lots of love to Pippa. It's just, you can have an absolutely wonderful time. And so I have to read that I always told my kids when Jeff went on, what's it called, when Jeff went on Rotary and Dean went on his it said, it's an anonymous thing. It comes from Captain Fantastic. And it says, always tell the truth, always take the high road. Live each day as if it's your last. Drink it in, be adventurous, be bold, but savor it. It goes fast.
Oh, thank you, Gail.
Yeah. So have absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
that's beautiful. I just find that.
Thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you all, and sending much love, Jeanette, and to everyone on. And yeah, thank you all. We'll see you next week. Bye.
That's love. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, folks.